Minecraft's mobs are iconic, there's no doubt about that. Whether that's their look, their behavior, or the sounds that they make, there's clearly a lot of work that goes into their designs. And while that's great, this could make it better. Because folks, when I saw this animated mob texture pack, I knew instantly that I wanted this in the game. I mean, this should be added for the ladders alone. The rest is just a bonus. Minecraft doesn't have a lot of 3D textures. Instead, they can just make their textures 3D, with this weird cross shape of the layout. And while that's all fun and good for performance, I think if they really change things up and follow enough to the steps of 9th World Crops 3D pack would be really cool. Adding in the different variations of crops in different 3D space. I mean, I don't know when it goes for beet or slot, but when they look like this, I'm at least gonna give them a shot. And if I really had to pick, I think I would say that the carrot model is my favorite. It's tough to choose, because each of our saplings look different here as well. And if they don't do it with all the crops overall, I think at the very least seeing something like this for sweet berry bushes would be a nice touch. Because the way they look here, I can at least understand why I'm getting poked and prodded when I'm moving slowly through them. The original texture just wasn't good for me. Currently, if you want to give your bed some personality, you gotta dye it, which more than not just seems like it's an extra step before you're able to go to sleep, which I think none of us are looking to do. But with the benefits that we get from some of this pack, it's at least easier to see the kind of detail that you're adding. And by having neat designs on top of all beds like this, it not only gives you a reason to go through and look through all beds to find your favorite, instead of just settling for a white bed from the white sheep that you just sheared. But I think an even cooler implementation of this would be doing something like the glazed terracotta of regular terracotta. Having it be an extra step where if you want to, you can get some cool detail and designs, but if you don't, no sweat it. You get the smooth textures the same. I mean, really, this is all in service of just getting band patterns added onto the beds. That seems like such a layup already. If we can't get that, I'd take this as a happy medium. Maybe this is just me, but when I get into the group mining blocks with the Haste 2 pickaxe, I can often lose myself in the flow, only to realize 1 second too late the pickaxe broke. So for those like me, maybe having an indicator of the tool's durability in the sprite could be nice. That way you don't have to be laser focused in the hotbar, just to stay in the know. Helmets are staple in any arm set, so obviously you're crafting one of these for your noggin. But when you put it on, do you notice anything weird here? Or do you notice a lack of something here? Because while the iron, gold, and diamond helmets have a notice when we wear them, the sprite doesn't match up. So why don't we separate these from the leather option and give them a more accurate look? Nether wart is a pain to farm. I mean, there's no way to bone meal or pollinate it, so you're just stuck waiting for the thing to grow. And then, to make it worse, it's tough to tell the difference between the crop's middle and final stages. So, what if we just recolored the nether wart along its cycle? That way we know when it's time to harvest, and then make the potion a lot less tedious. Look at this. We got a 3D version of Mace, which looks so much cooler. It looks a little bit, it's like I got the biggest microphone in the world, and I just want to talk to everybody right here. I like keeping a heavy core on it too. That's very nice. This is why the roof. Oh yeah! Yeah, I like that Mace so much better. As you can see, Minecraft's textures have been through quite a few changes, but the biggest of which dates back to texture update of 1.14, and now the programmer art option exists to let players play with textures of old. But as the Minecraft veteran knows, there were plenty of textures before this from the retro era, so some way to put those alpha options in game would be pretty sweet. Minecraft's birch forests haven't got a lot of love, and that's not helped by the fact that when Mojang showed off changes to the birch forest for the wild update, they then went back on that saying that concept art isn't a promise, and that's a whole can of worms that I don't want to unpack here. But if they're not going to change how these birch biomes spawn, then they can at least change how they look, at least part of the time. And taking after this example where the birch forest could go in autumn style for the birch, that'd be really pretty. For one, give some new color of leaves that we've never had to play around with. Plus a unique looking sapling and grass type that matches as well. I mean, come on, you place some pumpkins next to this, it looks great. I think that speaks for itself. And while you could add this in with some kind of seasons feature, I think even just having a version of the birch forest that's permanently locked in autumn could give builders way more to play around with in the color palette. They got acacia for their orange planks, and autumn birch for their orange leaves. It works out to me. Did you know dolphins are neutral mobs? Yeah, it caught me off guard too. And in fairness, I've never exactly tried to get on their bad side, but when they look like a killer whale, maybe I'd believe it a little bit more. And what this resource pack does is add in new mob variety to our neutral mobs. On top of just mob variety in general, there's really a lot of cool stuff to look at here. I particularly like the changes to the fox. That's really cute. And hey, adding a few of these in made it a lot more exciting to trap every mob, and a lot more tedious. So for whoever wants to try that one. I would love to see the video though. We've now got darker dark oak leaves. Normally, in regular Minecraft, for some reason, oak leaves and dark oak leaves are the exact same color. But now, it's different, which I think makes sense. Why add in another block if it's going to be completely the same? Having this color, I think, makes it so much cooler to run around the dark oak forest. Actually, observer, we're going on location. This is a rare time I'm taking you on a trip. Yeah, so look at the difference here. I mean, just parkouring on top of these leaves, it looks so much better. I'm curious to see how a woodland mansion looks amongst all these leaves. That looks so much better than it does in vanilla. I love suspicious stew as an item, but I also don't like being suspicious. And so if you're like me and don't like the roulette game, then having the option to have a pack like this where you can visualize which potion effects is inside of the stew is pretty nice. Now, if we were to get this in vanilla, I would be hesitant with current implementation. I mean, the textures look great, but they also give away the whole mechanic of the suspicious stew. But maybe the ability to craft it with another ingredient that could let you see what's inside, that'd be nice. Or maybe the stews get less suspicious when you craft them yourselves, instead of finding them in a shipwreck nest. After all, if I know what's in it, I want to be guessing what I put in. That makes sense to me. So you know how you need amethyst to craft spyglasses?